Hey, what's up you guys? This is Junior Trader, and in this video we are taking a look at a lot of stock market news. In this video I'll be giving you an all-rounded coverage on the stock market, where things are standing. Definitely tomorrow we have Nvidia's earnings. You are seeing Nvidia right now on my screen. We'll talk Nvidia as well. As for how the things are looking like in the perspective of the trades, but definitely more focus will be on the news side, not just Nvidia, but beyond that, I have a lot of stock news to talk to you guys about in this video. We will be talking Elon Musk, Trump, Metas, Apple, and bunch more stuff. United Healthcare will be closing with that one at the end of this video. A lot of news around that as well. With that, please note, anything in this video that I say or mention regarding technical analysis or anything related to the news is solely my opinion. Please do what you feel like doing. None of this is any financial advice. This is only for education purposes. Please make your own decisions, whatever you want to do in the market. All right. Okay. So we'll start off right away with Nvidia. Tomorrow we have Nvidia's earnings. Now, as I said, I'll be more focused on the news and higher picture on the little bit of the the technicals as well. But if you want in-depth analysis of not just Nvidia but many other stocks, and also together with, if you need my tools as well, check out the details in the description of this video. There are Patreon links, and that's where you can join the membership if you want to prepare, learn how to trade, and all of those things. Join those memberships on my Patreon. Links are in the description of this video if you are interested. All right, let's jump here on Nvidia. So tomorrow we have Nvidia's earnings. Nvidia has been always outshining and beating the earnings. The estimates tomorrow are 46 billion, and previously they had their earnings at 44 billion. So they beat previously as well. They have been beating all around every time their earnings. Now, there are couple of things though, right? Like, so definitely, as I said, technicals details on my Patreon, check those out. But let's see what the options traders are betting on Nvidia. So option traders, they are expecting a 6.2% swing higher or lower. That's per the data that has been found on the options. And some of the most actively traded Nvidia options contracts were call options pegged to the stock jumping to $190 to $200. And just take that into account with the 6.2% swing. So I can quickly show you how that would look like. We'll take it from the, where the price is right now. I'm not sure from where they took it in the perspective. So it's, yeah, 192 on the upside, and the 6.2 below will be somewhere, 170. So that's the, options traders are betting that swing. But hey, as I say, earnings will come out tomorrow, but that's what the options traders as how they're betting on Nvidia. This amounts to around $260 billion swing, actually. I looked up another article that just talks about this very thing, so it's not here, but I can tell you that. So that's quite a lot. Anyways, that's what options traders take are on Nvidia. Now, this article a little bit talks about should you sell Nvidia stock ahead of Q2 earnings. Now, definitely this article goes on both ends, like bearish outlook as well and positive outlook as well. So the key points that they make out of their bearish outlook. Now, look, I'm a technical trader, okay, and that's what I teach my members as well. So these articles, technically, as I said, this is just good to know, but they are not. You shouldn't make your decisions based on what someone's opinions are based on a written article. I mean, you wouldn't, you know, not make money that way. Will be lost in the market. That's why we do technical trading, and that's what I teach to my members as well on Patreon videos. Now, what does this article says, right? On the bearish side. So just high summary, they go over the Nvidia has surpassed 4 trillion in under 3 years, which is very, quite, you know, really good. I mean, I'm trying to say It's a quite a huge accomplishment. No other company I have heard of has like reached a $4 trillion mark in just 3 years, right? So, however, despite consistent demand for AI software and data center infrastructure, many companies struggle to utilize AI solutions effectively, and numerous firms have not seen positive returns from their investments in AI. So, even a minor setback surrounding AI can upset NVIDIA's growth narrative ahead of its much awaited fiscal second quarter earnings. Now, as I'll be providing my opinions as well. Now, it doesn't, so it all comes down to what they said during the earnings call, right? Like, how do we factor in, is the demand decreasing? Well, if NVIDIA's orders are decreasing, NVIDIA itself doesn't really host, well, they do have their things as well, but most of their revenue comes from selling chips, right? So it all comes down to, will they say something about if the order lineup of their chips, how that's looking like? So this is a very straightforward, understanding of this line. So if orders in the pipeline are decreasing, well, that's a telltale sign, right? The significant increase in spending on data centers could enhance NVIDIA's performance in the fiscal second quarter. Still, there are concerns regarding the practicality of existing AI models. Running and training generative AI is costly, and the business model hasn't proven to be profitable. So if companies such as Anthropic, Cohere, and OpenAI, to name a few, encounter difficulties, the long-term demand for NVIDIA's chip may decline. Again, these are theories, we don't know, right? We'll see what is said tomorrow. And so there are some other points. NVIDIA's extremely high valuation is another worry. The Nvidia stands at 21.96 compared to 2.09 for the peer group. Thus, market expectations are quite elevated, and if growth in fiscal second quarter deaccelerates, the stock could potentially experience a sharp decline. So these are the current reason why price to sales ratio stands at 21.96 is because, sorry, 21.96 is the ratio, is because, well, um, the investors, if again, these are numbers, these are like status quo, it doesn't have to follow a certain thing, and that's why technical trading is what's the best. It's the best way of making money. Now, 21.96, it's also, if you just take this into account, it's also for the reason that the most of the growth is priced in, and traders or Wall Street investors believe, if that's something you have to understand in that perspective, that Nvidia will fill into these shoes, like a bigger shoes of bigger PS, price to sales ratio. Nvidia will eventually fill into it. So that's the pretty much the perspective that's being put out here. Nvidia's revenue in the fiscal quarter, they just talk about which is expected, is they're estimating higher than that. Over time, Nvidia's ongoing operations in China may face regulatory obstacles from US government, leading to greater uncertainty and posing threat to revenue stability. Now, again, this is something debunked lately. Trump has lately, I know it's very always very volatile how things are right now, but Nvidia's ongoing operations in China right now, they have been given a green light on a 15% exchange of revenue to the US government, right? Nvidia and AMD. So this is not a something narrative you want to put out right now, right? It's so, again, like right now on the negative side on Nvidia, even though this article talks about it, but I would say it's very much just theories here and hypothesis rather than really having concrete evidence on that. Now let's talk about the reasons to hold Nvidia stock instead of taking profits. We have a lot to talk about in this video, so we'll go quickly on this one. But I just want to emphasize Nvidia more today because we have its earnings tomorrow. Competition in the GPU space, extreme valuation, and slower than expected AI adoption are some of the reasons to be skeptical about Nvidia. However, the company is still well positioned to deliver growth in the fiscal second quarter, since its trailing four-quarter earnings surprise on average is a positive 3.9%. The rise in demand for NVIDIA's Blackwell Ultra GB300 GPU will enhance the company's fiscal second quarter revenues and profits. Additionally, NVIDIA's chip sales to China may recover losses from restrictions, that point that I just made, right, that they have been given a green light, potentially boosting revenue and performance in the upcoming quarter. NVIDIA anticipates $8 billion in chip sales to China in the quarter. Now, that's the whole point I made. Their negative narrative is not well supported with the reality, and positive is right now well supported. Again, as I said, this is just my take on the things on the article. Right now, how the situation is, there is much more positive for Nvidia and semiconductors rather than negative. Furthermore, Nvidia benefits from rising data center capital expenditure with major companies like Alphabet, Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, and so forth. Also, rapidly expanding networking hardware division of Nvidia will boost revenues, and the CUDA platform provides the company with the wide moat, potentially safeguarding the company's market share over the long term. Okay, so I talked about my opinion as well and on this article because just sometimes when you see on an article both sides negative and positive, you don't know which way to go, right? So I just wanted to provide my opinion, like what they are saying, what is closer to the reality, right? It's more the positive side on the things rather than the negative side. Negative sides are more like the theories rather than what's really happening, right? So, anyways, that's that. Now let's a little bit shift the gears here. We'll move on to Trump fires Lisa Cook. Let's talk about it. And Cook to sue Trump over order to fire her from Federal Reserve. Now, again, it's not clear that she is not working, but because they say that Lisa Cook can't be fired by Trump because without cause, and the cause doesn't exist related to her job here, and Trump also doesn't have authority over Federal Reserve. But let's talk about through this article. Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook will file a lawsuit challenging her removal by President Donald Trump, setting up a potential standoff between the president and the U.S. Central Bank. President Trump has no authority to remove Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook, her lawyer, Abby David Lowell, said in a statement. The president has said there was sufficient reason to believe Cook had made false statements on her mortgage and cited constitutional powers, which he said allowed him to remove her. Now, I don't know, we don't know what are these line by line constitutional powers. I can do some research and look into it if you throw a lot of likes on this video. But anyhow, let's move on. The unprecedented move comes as Trump has put increasing pressure on the Fed, especially its chair, Jerome Powell, over what he sees as unwillingness to lower rates. Anyways, so this something it's not too something to too much worry about. This is just again a narrative there, but his attempt to fire her based solely on a referral letter lacks any factual or legal basis, Cook's lawyer said on Tuesday, and as they said on the article, they'll be filing a lawsuit. So that's something we have ongoing. Trump looking to fire, or technically he has fired, but it's not clear if she's working or she's on something like a on a holding period. Like it's more like a hey, you are still in the job, but you can't work. Your stuff is frozen until this case gets cleared, right? So, anyways, so that's that. Let's stay on the Trump's topic and let's talk about Trump threatens 200% tariffs on China rare earths. President Donald Trump threatened fresh tariffs against China, warning he could impose 200% tariffs on something if Beijing restricts export of rare earth magnets to the US. They have to give us magnets, okay, he says that, calling the materials a national security priority. He added the US holds leverage through airplane parts, noting China has about 200 jets grounded without Boeing components. All right, so that's ongoing. We'll stay on the Trump's topic for this one more last article, and then we'll move on to a bit on Elon Musk's side of the things. Trump threatens tech tariffs as EU defies US over digital rules. President Donald Trump warned of possible export restrictions on advanced US technology and semiconductors alongside higher tariffs in response to Europe's digital service taxes, which are impacting companies like Google, Apple, Meta, and Tesla. The European Commission pushed back, stressing that its rules, including the Digital Service Act and Digital Markets Act, apply to all platforms operating in Europe regardless of the origin. Wow. So, anyways, this is something, in many countries I see, but Trump has, again, like I do hear the grievances of the tech companies here as well because they go through a lot. They have to file, taxes of you know, their revenue across all the countries as well, right? And whatever they make money in back to the US, but then they're also charged once this, they're charged on the in the other countries as well. But anyways, their bottom line is still really good, but definitely EUs make a lot of money by just penalizing these companies, and also um, they charge these taxes to these American companies. So EU, yeah, EU business model is more like penalizing, make money that way also, and then also charge the taxes. The dispute unfolds as the Europe prepares to finalize legislation on a trade framework with Washington that could potentially lower US tariffs on EU automobiles and car parts from 27.5 and 15%. And I agree, this is the time before signing all the paperwork. You gotta make sure you leverage whatever you want to. Okay, so yeah, you know and definitely as an investor I would favor less taxes on these companies, because as an investor, right, it's my best interest that these companies bottom line increases more, right, because that will bring more profits again as an investor, right? So anyways, nothing is right and wrong here in the market, guys. It's all about what you believe in, all right, with the outcome you think is the better outcome, because um, yeah, you get my point, right? In these cases there is nothing right and wrong is what I'm trying to say. It's all about business deal, and it depends where your chips are in that business, right? So okay, let's now move on to Elon Musk. Elon Musk's XAI sue Apple and OpenAI over antitrust. Elon Musk has taken his fight with big tech into code. His social media platform X and AI startup XAI filed a lawsuit Monday against Apple and OpenAI, accusing two companies of running an anti-competitive scheme designed to block rivals in both smartphones and generative AI. The complaint, filed in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Texas, claims Apple and OpenAI have colluded to maintain dominance. Musk companies allege Apple deprioritized super apps and AI chatbot bots such as XAI's Grok in App Store rankings, making it harder for competitors to gain traction. OpenAI pushed back, calling the suit part of Mr. Musk's ongoing pattern of harassment. Apple X and XAI did not immediately comment. Musk had threatened legal actions earlier this month, accusing Apple of deliberately preventing Grok from hitting number one in the App Store. Okay, so here there are mixed things here. Like, what if someone is just downloading more and more, um, you know, the other like OpenAI stuff and ChatGPT, right? But I also see a point that he is making. Many developers do suffer on these platforms because once an app makes to the top, like, or one app has more downloads, that just remains forever, right? Because that just stays on the top, which means more downloads. It's some momentum, right? So even if sometimes there was a time back in the good old days, you will go on the app stores and you would see, oh, today's these top charts are, wow, the app that I have never seen before, right? Or recommended apps, oh wow, new app, let's try it. And today if you go to any app store, what you would see, the same apps which were there a year ago as well, 2 years ago as well. The same apps, the behemoth that has become big enough, and they just stay up there. So it's like a snowball effect, right? But then also it's just frustrating. I don't go to App Store to see what's new there today, because I know it's just going to show me that big behemoths, right? So I get the point. I get the point. what Elon is trying to do here. Okay, this is Apple's annual event will be September 9th. What to expect for the iPhone and AI? Apple will host its annual product event on September 9th, the company said Tuesday. Now, investors and customers alike will be looking for announcements regarding the company's next iPhone launch and artificial intelligence updates. The Apple event always takes place in September. The most important product announcement this time around is expected to be iPhone 17. CEO Tim Cook said Tuesday in a post on X that this year's event will be awe-dropping. Anything less could be bad for the stock. I get it. Like if he says awe-dropping, well, he better fill into those words because right now it's just aesthetics only that Apple always displays in these things. But I mean, the things have gotten so advanced that yeah, like how can you keep improving hardware with that magnitude over and over again, right? But let's see if they can do something with AI as well. Apple has lagged a lot when it comes to AI, so we'll see if Apple can do anything that. I would love to see Siri being more like a having a features of AI. I just tried Siri a couple of days ago, asking her something that can you tell me how to do this, and she just couldn't tell me because it wasn't anywhere on the web, or she couldn't search anywhere on the web, right? But I mean, there was information still on the web. It's still possible, but it just didn't know. It just didn't even properly look through it, and I was like, well. So, anyways, yeah, I would love to see Siri gets better. iPhone users want an updated Siri chatbot, and the patience is running thin. I get it. I get it. Yes, my patience is also running thin. There have been reports that Apple is looking to team up with an outside company to help build the AI-powered Siri. We'll see. All right, something to keep an eye on. Let's jump on to Meta, and then we'll wrap up with United Healthcare. Meta's planned Louisiana AI data center to cost $50 billion. Wow. Meta's planned AI data center in Louisiana will cost $50 billion. The social media company is building its largest data center in Richland Parish, which could handle intense computational power to support digital infrastructure, including artificial intelligence workloads. Wow. Well, Meta has a lot of money, and definitely this is coming out of their books, so hey, their profit margins might, who knows, we'll see. But it's a required investment, and Trump really takes pride into making these announcements, so we will see. Anyways, if you want to know technical trades and all of those things, you will have to be on my Patreon. You can check out the details in the description of this video. As I say, daily coverage. I teach members how to trade with these stocks. I take it as an example. Pretty much, talking about what are the type of trades you can take on a particular stock right now and how the structure is looking like. Everything. You would know how to trade. You would know where to put your money, when to take profits, everything, daily regular coverage I do with the members on my Patreon. All right, let's get to United Healthcare. DOJ, Department of Justice, expands probe into United Health's prescription management services. This led to the stock fall in the last hour. United Healthcare is also our daily coverage, guys, on my Patreon. A lot of good stuff there on this, actually. But anyways, let's talk here. The U.S. Justice Department Criminal Division is digging into business practices at United Healthcare's pharmacy benefit manager, Optimum RX. All right. Under an ongoing probe into company's operations, the investigators are looking into its prescription management service and how it reimburses its own doctors. It's in addition to what they were already looking into their insurance practices. Now it's an expansion into more stuff, more probing happening here, guys. So, and yeah, this affected the stock in the last hour, actually. There you go. United Health is also under investigation by US DOJ over its Medicare business, a US government program that covers medical costs for individuals aged 65 and older and those with disabilities. So, well, you know, that's what is going on, guys. Okay, that's all I had for you guys in this video. I want to provide you a well-rounded picture of a lot of things and as per the news in the market. And with that, see you in the next videos, guys. Take care. Bye.